Good morning all. In our today's video, we shall be discussing with the second part of our lesson 6, that is history, colonialism and the city. About this chapter we already studied in our first video. We discussed about how was the life during the colonial time, what were the changes made after the British came to India. We also got about how the capital city of present time New Delhi was planned. Now in this video we shall be dealing with very few points. We shall be first of all discussing about life in the time of partition. You know what is the meaning of partition? Partition means division, we can say, and everybody knows that India and Pakistan were a single country, but in the year of 1947 on 15th August we can say India and Pakistan was divided and India became free from the shackle of the British rule. So we are going to study now what was the condition of the people when this partition was done. The partition of India in 1947 led to a massive transfer of populations on both sides of the new border. The new border means the border of India and Pakistan. And as you know that in 1947 India was divided into India and Pakistan. India specially meant for the Hindus and Pakistan meant for the Muslims. So when the partition was done in the year of 1947, there was a massive transfer of population, means many thousands of Hindus they came from Pakistan to India, and thousands of Muslims from India they migrated to Pakistan. Days after India's independence and partition, fierce rioting began, and you know very well, if people will be migrating from one place to the other place, there will be a lot of problem. They will have problem about their shelter, they will have problem about their job or occupation. So when this partition was done and the Muslims they went to Pakistan and the Hindus they came to India, different types of rioting or the riots or the problems started. Thousands of people in Delhi were killed and their homes looted and burned. When the people from Pakistan they came to India, mainly in Delhi, many thousand people were killed, their homes were looted means all the things were taken, and even their homes were burned. Over two-thirds of the Delhi's Muslims migrated. Almost 44,000 homes were abandoned. Not only the people in Delhi were killed, even in Pakistan also the condition was same, because over two-thirds of the Delhi Muslims, out of the total number of the Muslims who were living in Delhi, among them two-thirds of them migrated, means they went to Pakistan. Almost 44,000 homes were abandoned. These homes were already occupied by the Muslims who were living in Delhi. These homes were left and they went to Pakistan. Terrorized Muslims lived in makeshift camps till they could leave for Pakistan. The terrorized Muslims means the Indian Muslims who wanted to leave for Pakistan, they did not have any shelter, and that's why they started to live in the camps till they could manage to leave for Pakistan. Nearly 500,000 people, 500,000 or you can say 5 lakh people were added to Delhi's population. Whatever be the population of Delhi earlier, almost 5 lakh people were newly added, means these 5 lakh people they came from Pakistan to live in Delhi. That was the added population to Delhi. They stayed in camps, schools, gardens, etc. And now see, these 5 lakh people they were migrants. They were new to Delhi. Where they would stay? Some of them they stayed in the camps made by the government. Even they stayed in the military barracks. Some of them they occupied the schools, even the gardens, and some got the opportunity to occupy residences that had been vacated. As we already got earlier that 44,000 homes were vacated by the Indian Muslims who left for Pakistan. So among these 5 lakh people, some of them they stayed in the school or gardens or camps, and some others they were able to get the homes which were vacated by the Indian Muslims. Alright, new colonies such as Lajpat Nagar and Tilak Nagar came up, and when these migrants they came to Delhi, they started to make some colonies, and among them two famous colonies are here. One is Lajpat Nagar, even it is there today, and another one is Tilak Nagar. This type of colonies came up because of these migrants. The occupation of the people changed. I already told you that when people will migrate from one place to the other place, definitely their occupation would change. The new migrants were mostly rural landlords, lawyers, teachers, etc. The migrants who came to our country or came to Delhi in Pakistan, they were either landlords or lawyers or teachers or maybe some traders. Partition changed their life, but when they came to Delhi, their occupation was gone and their life was changed. They had to take up new jobs like hawkers, vendors, carpenters, ironsmiths, etc. So now you see, when they came to Delhi, definitely their jobs were gone, their occupations were gone, but they could not stop to earn their livelihood, and that's why they took up some new occupations, like some became hawkers, some took the occupation of vendors, some became carpenters, some became ironsmiths. Like that, their life was changed. So you can see here, because of the partition of India in the year of 1947, not only the people who came to India suffered, but also the people who went or who migrated to Pakistan, they also suffered. So we can say the partition, it did not have any positive result or positive effect on the society, either the Indian society or the Pakistan society. It had one negative effect. The people, they suffered a lot because of the partition. Well, the next point that we are going to study is inside the old city. Here old city means we can say Old Delhi, and new city means New Delhi. Remember, here old city means Old Delhi. Mughal Delhi's famed canals had brought not only fresh drinking water to homes, but also water for other domestic uses. As we already got that before the arrival of the British, the Mughal, they ruled our country, and they also made Delhi as their capital. And during the Mughals, they made the canals, and these canals, they provided fresh drinking water to the people, and even not only fresh drinking water, they also provided water supply. They also provided water for the domestic uses. But after the arrival of the British, the system totally changed. This excellent system of water supply and drainage was neglected. When the British first of all came to India, they totally neglected the water supply and the drainage system which was established or which was set up by the Mughals. The system of wells and channels to remove household wastes were removed. The British, what they did, the wells were stopped, it was and the channels, the Mughals, even they made the channels for removing the waste from the household, that is the drainage system. So all this drainage system as well as the water supply was removed by the British, or it was destroyed. The broken down canals could not serve the needs of the rapidly increasing population. Population was increasing because of the partition, but the canals which were already destroyed or broken by the British, they could not serve the needs of the increasing population. So that was the condition inside the old city or Old Delhi. The next point that is here we are going to study is the decline of Havelis. I hope you have heard the word Havelis. Havelis means you can say very big or grand mansions where generally the royal families used to live. Here royal families means the Mughal royal families. The Mughal aristocracy lived in great mansions called Havelis. Mughal aristocracy means the Mughal royal family or the family of the emperor. They used to live in grand mansions or grand buildings which were known as the Havelis. A Haveli housed many families. In one Haveli, not only single family used to live, many families used to live in one Haveli. It had beautiful gateway, open courtyard, public rooms used by males, and inner courtyard meant for women. You should understand about Havelis because the Havelis are different from the colonial bungalows. We shall be discussing about the colonial bungalows. So Havelis, you see, it had beautiful gateways, open courtyard, public rooms. The public rooms were generally used by the males, and the inner courtyard or the inner rooms were generally meant for the women. That was the main feature of the Havelis. Many of the Mughal amirs means we can say the nobles. After the British came to India, many of the Mughal amirs or the nobles, they were unable to maintain this under the condition of the British rule. When the British came to India, the amirs or the nobles, they were unable to maintain the system under the British rule, because the British, they made different types of rules which were supposed to be followed by the Mughals, and the Mughals, they could not fulfill those demands of the British, and that's why slowly and steadily the Havelis were began to be destroyed. The British made colonial bungalows. See, I already told you earlier, the Mughals used to live in the Havelis, but the British, they made the bungalows, and the bungalows, it was meant for single family. We already got in the Haveli many families could live, but in the bungalow only one single family could live. It had separate living and dining rooms, kitchens, servant quarters, etc. Means the feature of the bungalows and the features of the Havelis were totally different. So the point was, Havelis were destroyed or distracted. After the British rule, or when the British came, they started to destroy, or they started to break up the Havelis, and instead of the, or in place of the Havelis, they started to make the colonial bungalows. Now, this is the last point of this video as well as this chapter. The municipality begins to plan. Now India got partitioned. Now it was the duty of the Delhi municipality to plan for the proper progress or proper development of Delhi. The census of 1931 revealed that Old Delhi was overcrowded, about 90 persons per area or per acre, while New Delhi had only about 3 persons per acre. See, the census which was held in the year of 1931, it showed that Old Delhi was overcrowded, whereas in New Delhi very few people used to live. It is given here, see, in Old Delhi 90 people lived in 1 acre, and in New Delhi only 3 persons used to live. So you can easily understand about the density of population in Old Delhi and New Delhi. In 1888, before the independence, in 1888, an extension scheme called the Lahore Gate Improvement Scheme was planned by Robert Clark. Robert Clark, he made one policy or one scheme. The name of the scheme was Lahore Gate Improvement Scheme. It was made in the year of 1888. And what was there in the scheme? See, the idea was to draw residents away from the old city to a new type of market square around which shops would be built. Robert Clark, he also believed that Old Delhi was overcrowded, whereas in New Delhi very few people used to live, and that's why he devised the Lahore Gate Improvement Scheme, according to which he thought that residents or the people who were living in the old city, they will be taken out from there and they would be given some new place to set down, and their shops would be opened, because those shops would be catering the needs of the people, as well as the people who would settle there, they also would get their chance to earn some money. Streets followed grid pattern. Grid pattern means, you know very well, we have already got in maths, like that system, straight. Robert Clark, he also said that the streets they must be followed, they should be made following the grid pattern and are of identical size and width. What is the meaning of identical size and width? Means they would be big enough and wide enough. But even in 1912, no doubt the plan was made in the year of 1888, but even in 1912, water supply and drainage in these new localities was very poor. The people were taken out, new colonies were established, but even in the year of 1912, water supply facility as well as drainage facility was very poor in such localities. The Delhi Improvement Trust was set up in 1936. One new trust or one new committee was set up. The name of the committee was Delhi Improvement Trust. The duty of this trust or the committee was to improve the condition of the people who were living there. It was established in 1936, and it built areas like Daryaganj South for wealthy Indians. See, this Delhi Improvement Trust, it was set up for the development or improvement of the people who were living in Old Delhi, but they also built some areas. One example is given, Daryaganj, but it was only meant for the wealthy Indians, the rich Indians. Again, here also the poor people, they were neglected. Ultimately, the poor suffered. So here also you can see, no doubt the different plans were made for the improvement of the people, for the progress of Delhi, but ultimately the poor people, they suffered. So that's about the chapter. I hope you have understood. You go through both the videos, read the chapter, underline the important points, and if any type of doubt is there, please get it cleared. Thank you very much.